What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the One More Rep podcast. I'm your host. My name is Joseph Percher. As always, this video is sponsored by NutriBio Supplements, Crystals Bikinis, Bio Longevity Labs, and RapidRxUSA.com. Check the link in the description for those codes. Save you guys some money. I also want to plug the school community that I'm doing. I am running a membership forum with Tom Schuster, and it's already gotten a pretty wild response. Pretty blown away by the response in there. So, if you guys are interested, a lot of exclusive content on top of the stuff that we already put out for free. It's not replacing what we're doing for free. It's just an option to hear more of us. So check that out as well. And with all that said, I am back with the boys, Austin Brown, Josh Jefferson of Pivot Gym in the Pivot Gym hat. What's up, guys? How are you? Austin, how you doing, brother? Living large, large and in charge.
I'm trying, man. Yeah, nothing new, man. Just waddling through another week.
So you said that you feel awful. Training is good though, right?
Training feels good. I'm getting to a point where I'm definitely beat up. I noticed that probably like the last week or two.
Okay.
So I'll probably push on. I don't think I'm gonna pull back or anything. I just needed to kind of drop. I just dropped load a little bit this week and like kind of audited like Pharm and I was just because I was feeling beat up because I was just getting like really strong on some things and that's what it was pretty taxing.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, no, the training feels good. Everything's going really smooth, man. I'm really really
How
happy.
has the tricep been? Has there been anything since you got back?
Nope, no, nothing with that at all. So I don't know. It's been a miracle, really. It's felt
Crisis
great.
averted, brother.
Yeah, no, it's like my arms have felt really good. Arm day's been
They look
good.
good.
Right. So I'm like, I don't know. That was crazy. But
Awesome.
yeah, no, things are good. This has been a really fun phase. So it's all good stuff.
Hell yeah. Josh, how are you, dude? How's the gym?
Everything's good, man. We're
Snowing?
not yet, but I think it's supposed to Friday.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I had a good, what was it, Sunday morning before legs? I had a good or Monday morning, sorry. It was a good 25-minute workout beforehand of shoveling. But it was oddly light, which was pretty cool. But there's like a mountain of snow in front of the gym currently. Um, but there's somebody here at 7 a.m., even though it wasn't shoveled yet, ready to go into the gym. So definitely cool. People are here to get after it.
Yeah, it's good to
We
know that
just,
demand is there, you know?
yeah, we just had somebody actually come in. He just left a little while ago, and he was like, "I had to come here and meet you because of the podcast that we talked about the three dinner guests."
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
Of
he
all
and
the things.
I was like, "That's an interesting one, but really cool dude." But he had to turn around. He was like, "I had to come here. I had to check out the gym. I love the podcast." He was like, "But that answer right there made me have to come here." And I was like, "All right, cool."
That guy is
Yeah.
definitely on some type of FBI watch list for sure. If that's the
Probably.
whole only reason he traveled to a gym to meet somebody, man, that guy might be on some type of like SSRI or something. I don't know. But
Okay. Very
oh man. All right. Yeah,
fun.
that all lines up. So all right, let's get right into the questions. Um man, I wanted to be able to see. I don't know that I can see. I wanted to start doing the timestamps. I got enough angry messages from people. I wanted to start doing them. Tommy John's been doing them. And I appreciate it, but I don't want him to feel like he has to do it. How far into it? I wish it would say like 3 minutes into the recording.
Maybe
Fuck.
maybe review it after and then do it that way.
Yeah, maybe I'll review it after. You're right. Um, man, a
You
lot
know,
of
Joe is
people.
posting this immediately.
Well,
No, but you know what I could do is I always post it just right away. I don't edit. I don't do anything. I don't take anything out.
What if you
But
start a
what I
timer right now?
Yeah, I guess I could. You know what? No, because I need the phone for the questions. So what I'll do is I'll just rewatch it after I post it, and I'll leave a comment. Um, man, a lot of people, I guess people, obviously follow the Instagram. A lot of people had asked about the Motzi experience that I'm having. I will probably do a solo Q&A or a super heavy series video that I'll answer that stuff.
Okay.
Um, this guy writes in and said, "What's an expected weight jump um, from adding fast acting insulin? Doing 6 IU's pre workout, and I'm already up 8 pounds in a week. Same diet." Man, I don't know that there's any not give you guys a chance, but it almost sounds like he's maybe freaking out a little bit, and it's like, man, if that's what it is, that's what it is.
Yeah, this shouldn't happen. So like the surplus was just set in that amount. So you might be holding a little water from the
A ton
implementation.
of water.
I was gonna say stress induced water from just stressing about that.
Yeah.
Sure, but like just from the insulin alone, like yeah, maybe, but like it's not a ton. Yeah, I mean it just sounds like the surplus to me is set pretty up there, right? To me.
Yeah. So I'll say this. Only this guy knows if in his heart, like if he just truly all the other variables were the same and then he added some insulin in and then things shot up. Like if you say diet was the same, meaning your one cheat meal a week was the same, and you went and tore down the Cheesecake Factory, like that's why you're up 8 pounds in a week or whatever. And you know what? With the fast acting insulin, I would say then maybe that there's a chance that when he's using it, maybe it's with a pre-meal or before an intra shake, that might be too much because then you're just retaining so much more. Um, but man, I wouldn't freak out about it. This guy looks great. Like I have that context, you guys don't, but this guy looks great. And so, dude, I wouldn't sweat it. Like if this is truly just like one variable changed and that's what induced like this level of water retention, it'll balance out. Give it a week, stay on your diet, don't freak out and self-sabotage. And it will rectify itself.
Yeah.
Timing of a bolus dose of GH pre-workout with and without insulin. So I guess he's asking if he's going bolus dose of GH before training, at what point should he do it? This is how I would
Actually,
do it. Pre-workout, I would pull the HGH into an insulin pen, put it in the fridge, and save it until right before you go to bed.
Yeah, I guess like just to answer the question, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like immediately pre-workout, perhaps it's further away from food.
Can we, I was gonna say if you had like 2 hours, you ate your meal 2 hours before, then you shot it as you walked in the gym, you don't have any intra carbs, and then wait until you get home to eat your post workout meal. That's probably your best bet in that scenario. But like, just save it.
Man,
Yeah,
see, to me, like if the idea is to grow and get bigger as a bodybuilder, that right away, like, okay, if the timing of this GH is going to keep me from using something as beneficial as an intra shake during my training as a bodybuilder, I don't think that's a great way to do it. Um, I don't know. I just don't like this. I don't like this. I hear people talking about what's that?
I would say we just advise a different strategy here, all of us.
We
Like,
you
Use
advise
it
a
at
totally
night.
different that, and I've even heard that some people will say like, yeah, I recognize that using it before bed is best, but if you get over X amount, that's when you should start breaking it up. I just don't follow that logic either. Um, like I've heard people say anything four or less, take it all before bed. If you're taking four or more, cut it in half and take half before your workout. It's like, why? So that I'm just more insulin resistant during the day? Like, just take it all before bed. I don't understand. This is like, I don't know. I think this has become everyone that does this is so detail oriented. Everyone wants to get 100% of the results that they possibly can get from their efforts. So I understand. But at this point, especially because I just, I would hear and parrot different things based on who I was listening to and who I trusted. And then really just got into diving into monitoring all of my own metrics very, very closely. And I just see time and again that if the idea is to get the most benefit from this big shot of GH while also making sure that I am insulin sensitive during the day when I'm going to be eating my food, take it all before bed. If you're dieting and then talking about, reaping the benefits of smaller individual shots to elicit fat loss or help fat loss, and because you're in a deficit and doing cardio and high steps and all these other things, the idea of being more insulin resistant is not a huge concern. Okay, then maybe we can talk about that. But if you're in a surplus and you're shoving food all day, the idea of like starting your day or putting in the middle of your day a big shot of GH like is so the opposite of what any of us would want. I don't get it.
Yeah,
Hopefully this guy listens to this.
that's our stand.
Um, Man, because I even remember I think at the end of your last push, Austin, you were toying around with the different like strategies of splitting it or all before bed. So what made you come around to all before bed? Was it just were you seeing it from your like blood sugars or what?
I think it was like I was doing that when I initially started pushing the higher dosages that
Yeah.
my last case, and just symptoms seem to be escalating much quicker, which is probably a direct result of like more insulin resistance because it was more water retention in the hands and feet and yada yada yada. So it was just
Yeah.
it felt really good in the gym for like 30
Yeah.
minutes, and then
Right.
like the rest of the day was more uncomfortable just from a
More
symptom.
sluggish, like more bogged down, I feel like.
All of it. Yep.
Yeah.
So, and then I, went back to PM, which I had done probably the last 2 years, and
Right.
um, could feel the effectiveness with basically I've been asymptomatic for the most part. Like it's cranked up a little bit, but
And what you're using a good amount, no? Like what do you like 15? Man,
yeah,
that's beautiful. That's fucking awesome.
I'm super happy with it. I'm like, I don't even want to try to push more. It's doing its thing. I'm
Right. You get to a certain point, and I'm in the same boat, dude. I've been able, after all that shit went on with the carpal tunnel, I was like, at a certain point, I had resigned myself to the fact that if I wasn't prepared to get the surgery, or if the insurance wasn't going to approve both sides, I was like, man, I might not even be able to run this at all. I had to come to that on my own. And then after a while, it was like, okay, I can do 8 and it doesn't seem to be worse. And then I tried 10 and it didn't get any worse. And then just because of the bottles that I have, I've been doing 13 and that didn't make it any worse either. And you know what? I've reached a point where I'm like, I am absolutely not going to try to take more because this
bro.
is all that I need, dude.
It's funny because like that bang on scenarios, like we went through it at the same time.
I know. I
It brought
know.
it back up, and like now we've hit our happy points. We're like we're good.
Man, I'm thrilled with that, dude. I went all of off season last year, like on 4 or is none for most of the time because the side effects were so bad. So,
Yeah, I was really scared to bump it from 12 to 15. I did that like 4 weeks ago, and I was like nervous. I'm like,
bro, when
no,
I decided I was going to go from, I basically at one point, I was like, I said to Kels, I was like, do not allow me to try to take more. Like, whatever you do, if you have any say in this, do not like try to convince me not to do this because I was on 10 successfully for weeks.
man,
And then finally, I was like, man, I really want to try the 13. And she was like, do you? And I'm like, I kind of do. And I was nervous as shit, dude. And it just didn't make any difference. And I think that a takeaway from us talking about this is the efficacy of a slower titration and kind of getting settled into a dose before. Because I've made the quick, dude, I've gone from fucking 8 to 14 to 20 in the matter of 3 weeks. And that's when shit hit the fan. So I think, you hear it talked about on forums and stuff, but this is a real life application of just a very slow titration. And this is why.
yeah, no, it's. that's bang on because that's exactly what I did, and jumped a gun the first time.
For sure.
For sure. But yeah, I have PTSD from that shit. That was like I hadn't felt that bad. Like it was terrible. I mean, it was a week of just no sleep and like I mean, it was basically like water torture. It's like it was torture.
It was like getting waterboarded. Yeah.
It was like in the middle of the night. Okay, 2 a.m. Literally a sword straight in the forearms.
Bro, to me, it just feels like my hands were dipped into a bucket of lava. Not my hands, sorry. My entire arm, like from my shoulder joint to my fingertips. Someone had tipped me over and dipped my full arm into a bucket of lava. And it's like, hey, you're gonna wake up right now. Well, I don't know what's going on.
Got a disco going on, bro.
Oh my God.
It was a lava lap.
Dude, bro, back in my
Yeah.
recreational drug days, this would have been lit.
You
I
need
don't
just
even
some
know how to
soft like EDM in the background right now.
I don't even know how to turn it off.
Is it actually Oh, there we go.
There we go. There we go. Sorry,
I,
guys. If anybody just ended up with an epileptic seizure, I apologize.
damn it, Joe.
Okay, dude, awesome, awesome friend of the show. I'm gonna say his name just because it's not a crazy drug question, and it's a guy that I like a lot. This guy Jackson, Big J, I think he goes by. He writes in and says, "How do you guys implement refeeds during a cut? If you could give some examples, let's talk through it.
Then the quantity or like timing
Whatever
or
you want to
both.
talk about."
Awesome. Go ahead.
Yeah, so basically, kind of like a high level view of how I utilize these is I initiate a deficit and I wait for some time until there are like noticeable signs of fatigue coming in, both either mental or physical or both. Um, and then I start introducing like feed up days at a more moderate pace. So I might just double their carbs for a day or two or something. And then, we get back into the base plan, which then may be modified to a lower base level calorie amount. And then dig into another deficit of more fat loss. And then as that depleted state kind of, um, becomes further into the prep and fat loss furthers and fatigue levels are getting higher, those feed up days are implemented both more frequently and more aggressively. So that's kind of like high level. So like an example would be like 20-week diet. The first 10 to 12 weeks, there's no feed up days at all. And then we
Right.
do one a week for 3 weeks, and then it's two a week for a couple weeks, and then it's like we're digging 2 days a high day, 2 days a high day, or 3 days a high day, and it's moving pretty quick, and then eventually getting to a point of fat loss being achieved, and then removing refeeds and just initiating a reverse diet into the contest.
Man, I think you just about covered it there, huh?
That's pretty inclusive.
Oh,
Josh, you got anything?
yeah. My only thing I was going to say is I like the double repeat approach.
What, like
Just
back
because
to back days?
That's a whole
yeah,
nother
back to back
topic
days.
too of like, I didn't even go into that. So that's something great to talk about of like, how many days or like how long, all those things.
Yeah,
Training
I
day,
like
night.
the back to back days for the like digestive relief. I'll say if I try to load somebody with like 800 grams of carbs on one day, where I could turn around and do maybe 500 for 2 days, like I would prefer the 500 so that I don't have to deal with any sort of digestive issues or gastric distress from that. Especially if someone's on Retta and like they have the slow gastric emptying, I'd rather keep the food lower over a longer time than be more relaxed. Unless they could just handle it. Like some people could just handle that amount of food, no problems. So
It seems like the more muscular guys can handle the bigger
That's
solo
it.
days.
It solely depends on the level of muscularity, period, because it's like, and
How
that's
much
the,
do you have to refill?
yeah. And so like their bigger day isn't really a bigger day. It's just what's needed for the muscularity.
Right. Right. No, I like that too. And then the other idea too is this someone that we are really trying to be thoughtful about what their midsection looks like and how well they can control it. Because then it's like probably better to do it slower over 2 days or 3 days, even than just hammering them with one day and then their midsection's totally blown out. My physique itself has probably started to reach a level that would make more sense because my midsection sucks. So
Yeah, and I think food sources come into that conversation too. Like you
yeah.
have, especially with a larger person, where it does require a larger number. Like you have to be diligent about what that's coming from.
I'll
All
say
right, you know
this
what?
for source things.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, no, go,
For a
Josh.
source thing, something that I really like with a repeat is like, especially if it's someone who's like locked in, not just looking for more food. Kind of like Joe's approach right now with the dried fruit. Um, as opposed to just like hammering 400 grams of rice portions, like add some dried fruit in there, keep the food volume a little bit lower. And, it's something different that's not normally in the plan. It feels almost like a cheat if
That's
it's
Yo,
not in your plan already.
dried pineapple feels like candy. It is so fucking good, dude.
I think dried fruits and like a honey are like two of the best ways you can like
Butter, dude. It's so easy.
you can get 200 carbs out of those two things and just add them to your meals, and it feels like you will really not eat any more food.
Yep. Um, Man, I saw you did a your own like story Q&A and someone I actually didn't watch what your answer was, but some similar topic. Somebody asked, "What's the difference truly between pharma and generic GH? At which point does it matter? For example, if you can only run 4 IUs of Pharm or 8 IUs of generic."
Did you test your generic? If you test your generic and it comes out as a 98% purity, like a lot of these are coming out to, I would say just run the generic at 8 IUs.
That's
Agreed.
exactly right.
So
That's the answer. Period.
That is the answer. You know what, dude? If you are testing your stuff from one of these analytical labs, it either is or is not the real thing, regardless of whether it comes from a pharmacy or not. It either is or it is not. It's binary. So if it is, um, then it's just the same product. So then the question of what's better, 4 IUs or 8 IUs, 8 IUs is better. The only thing that I will say is, and I don't want to contradict myself. You guys know if you've watched the show or any of my own videos, I've hammered the idea of just using properly dosed generics. It'll save you tons of money. It might lift the ceiling off what you can do with your physique because you're able to run more, you can afford more. I recently, I don't even necessarily want to say like his online moniker, but a friend of the show recently reached out and helped me get a handful of Serostim boxes after us not being in touch for several years. And I took him up on it. I was like, he was like, "Hey man, do you want any of these?" And I was like, "I'm good." And he was like, "What about for this price?" And I was like, all right, I'll take 4 of them. And so, uh,
I would have
and
did the same thing.
the reason being, I'll tell you guys, is that the only efficacy that I see with the idea of using a serostim, and really that's the only pharmacy that I would trust. I don't like the Geno pens. I don't like Sizen. I just trust serostim. And the reason or the timing or the reason is just that I have used perfectly tested generics. And from one batch to another, it can be the same product, but maybe from one box to another. I notice I hold a different amount of water from one to the other, right? So this doesn't matter like 48 weeks out of the year. But because now I have these, if I do compete this year at some point, 4 weeks out, let's say, I'm just going to switch to the Serostim because for me, I know for sure I will get all the benefits without holding any additional water to where it like blurs what's going on with actual fat loss. But
It's just
outside of that, dude, I wouldn't spend the money. Like I got like this guy made me, what's the line from like The Godfather? Like he made me an offer I couldn't refuse. Like
yeah. Yeah, I don't blame you. I think like you nailed it. Like the purity is probably more predictable, and
Yeah.
that's the benefit. That actually just happened to David, my David. He
Mm,
switched GH, and we're like 6 weeks out, and he went up like 5 or 6 pounds in a
right.
week. But the visuals were fine. It was like that's an easy one to kind of be like, "Ooh, freak out,"
It is.
use your
Yes.
mind, make figure it out, but drop the GH, right? But I was just like,
Oh.
you look great, so just fuck it.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of times too, dude, especially when someone's like, dude, David's been peeled like starting with his cruise before the prep even began.
He
When
held me.
someone is peeled, I'm sorry to cut you off, but let me just finish. When
Yeah.
someone is peeled, it doesn't really matter, generic or farm. It does just seem like this idea of the water, it knows where to go. Like it almost like it just goes to the muscle. But if you want to be safe and you're able to get your hands on some, it doesn't take much just for those final shit, even 2 to 4 weeks before a show. Like if you're a person that's trying to pursue high level competitive bodybuilding, yeah, that would be the only time. Like, if we're doing this farm versus generic debate. Like I said, 48 or 50 weeks out of the year, if you get a highly tested generic, that you can fucking ride that shit into the sunset.
Yeah.
All right. This is an interesting question. This guy is asking for 3 pillars to a healthy open bodybuilder's off season. Each of us go and do one.
One pillar.
One pillar.
Uh, well, okay. Cardio.
Awesome.
I would say micronutrient balance, making
Talk to
sure
me
you're eating
further about that.
vegetables,
What do you mean? Oh,
making
okay,
sure
okay.
I was trying to keep it simple, but like making sure you're eating your vegetables and your fruits to keep your
Fruits.
micronutrient like surplus high.
Digestion in a good spot. Right?
Yeah.
Dude, that's one thing that I've done this year that I absolutely threw out the window last year, and it's made like a world of a difference on how I feel, how my stomach feels.
How your
Like,
stomach is like dictates how you feel in general.
right. Dude, last year I reached a certain point with my food where I said, I'm absolutely not doing vegetables. I'm not doing fruits. I'm not doing any of it. And it was terrible, dude, when I look back. I didn't realize how terrible I felt until after. This year, I pretty much have vegetables and that not much. I got this from Chris Tuttle. When I talked to Chris Tuttle on the podcast, I selfishly basically asked him for myself, like, what's the minimum amount? Like, let's say you just need to eat a ton of food in the off season and you're one of these guys, you need to eat a ton of food. Like, where is it not even worth having, or what's a minimum amount? And he was like, listen, guy, you could do 50 grams of vegetables in a couple of meals and it's worth it. And I was like, oh, okay, I'll do that. So I have 2 meals right now that I do 50 grams of vegetables. I do a different type of veggie in each meal. So I got 2 veggies. And then 3 other meals, I have a different type of fruit in each meal. And my stomach and like my bowel movements and stuff have been fucking tremendous.
High veg, high fruit, man. I'm
Yeah.
massive on it.
And fruits are like refreshing and easy to eat when you're eating a lot. Like fruits are awesome. So that's
Same
a
thing.
good one, Josh.
Yeah,
Um, okay, three
By the
pillars
way, that
to
was
a.
a great Chris Tunnel impression.
that was so good. What the fuck?
I've
Yeah,
been
it like I was like, yo, what the fuck?
I've been friends with Chris for a long time, dude.
That was
And
amazing, bro.
he's a very distinct person. Has a very distinct way of speaking.
Mhm.
Even the facial expressions I could do. I'm not going to turn this
Shit was fun.
um, into like an impression hour, but 3 pillars to a healthy open bodybuilder's off season. So cardio, keeping fruits and vegetables in, and I would say I'm going to give two and cheat. I'm going to say doing your best to keep, even if your actual sleep is not good, doing your best to keep a consistent sleep wake cycle is going to be very, very important. And then as like a secondary cheater's answer, I'm going to say blood pressure medication. I don't know why so people are adverse to it.
I almost said Telma as my answer, but
I just don't know why people are like have this like pride about it. Like, oh,
it's
uh,
a
no,
read on the
it's not needed.
drug.
Like, bro,
It
go read about what telmisartan does. It's like they hand selected it and created it for enhanced bodybuilders.
literally, yeah.
Like there's insulin sensitivity benefits if you take it properly before bed, like the way that you should. Other man, recently I've heard all talk to all sorts of guys that are taking it in the morning. I'm like, you are big time dropping the ball with this. But if you take it before bed, it can help deep sleep. Like there's tons of like it's like a fucking awesome drug for bodybuilders. Like, and I talk to guys and they're like, my blood pressure is not high, and it's like Chris Tuttle, guy, go read about it and then come back to me. You know, it's like, why wouldn't you
Right.
take this? You know, it's
It's
cheap.
like,
It's so available. Like,
yeah, it's so much more, much more multifaceted than blood pressure medication.
bro,
It's
I feel like that one variable was such a huge change. I feel like it put years of I feel like it put years back on my health span, not even just my lifespan. Taking telmisartan put years back on my health span, like gave me healthy years back.
it like reversed my health almost.
That's what
Like
I mean. That's what I mean.
it's crazy, dude. It's crazy. And there's so many different pharmaceutical things that are so
Right.
helpful for bodybuilders.
Right.
People do turn their nose up to them when they're, using bathtub trend. It's like,
Right. Right.
you know,
That they'll tell you that they're taking Superdrol in the same breath as the fact that they don't want to take telmisartan, and it's like,
yeah, they'll ask you about starting a phase of A bombs, but that's a good,
which I love, but I'm taking both.
yeah, that's it's crazy.
All right, man. No knock on this guy. Cool young bodybuilder, um, and it's a good question. But man, this is one of these silly words that I wish that we would all like stop pretending to be scientists about and stop using. So this guy writes in and says, if you could deploy one mitochondrial peptide only, what and why?
Calling the fucking artillery and shit.
Bro, like, why wouldn't you just
Personally,
say if you could use one peptide? Like, it's a shorter word, it's easier to type. Like, why are we saying deploy like we're rocket scientists?
I know what I'm going to use a lot in the group chat now.
I'm gonna say SS31. I'm gonna combine it with urolithin A and PQQ
Hold on, motherfucker. You
because
said one. What are we talking? Well, those are
those
supplements.
those are supplements.
Okay.
So I'm repairing the hardware and then kind of supercharging it with the PQQ and then removing this shit with the urolithin A.
Okay.
I just feel like you can get the best bang for your buck by doing those. But
All
I
right.
think SS31 by itself probably is a waste of time. So,
I don't agree at all.
like after a long period of time, how much more do you have to repair?
No, probably not. But you're the one that just chose this as your long-term single peptide.
Wouldn't that process
No,
need to be
with
ever?
with the other stuff.
I'll give you I have a separate answer for 2 seasons. If I'm in off season, my answer is Motzi. And if I'm in contest prep, it's like retatrutide slash GLP. Just because in my experience with it, I feel like retatrutide, and I took a bunch of them, but the way that retatrutide changed my brain in contest prep, it brought a lot of the fun back into bodybuilding as a contest prep bodybuilder. Like I wasn't crazy focused on food and I wasn't hangry and grumpy because it was still another 90 minutes before I could eat again. And I wasn't unable to be present because I knew that my next meal was in 46 minutes. Like it, Retatrutide made it like contest prep was like a background software that was just running on my computer. And then my real life still just continued to happen. So for contest prep, I'm saying retatrutide. For off season, for the wild insulin sensitivity benefits that can be had from it, I'm saying Motzi.
I like it. I think I'm going with Slew because I've
Mm.
had a lot of I've enjoyed it. It's been really
Man,
effective.
you didn't like it. We talked this time last year, and I feel like you weren't sold on it.
I think it was questionable product, and B, I was using
That's
like
what,
250 micrograms or 300.
yeah,
It was like
yeah.
brand new, and that was like what we're using. And,
I'm about to use 600 milligrams or some crazy shit. If I prep this year, dude, I am letting it fly.
Fair enough. I mean, just like Migs, I feel it and it works,
Me
and I
too.
recomp from it, and I
Yep.
found that's been kind of my like push spot, and I've been running one for this, and I think it's been beneficial from a composition standpoint with the off season too. So
Totally agree. I've done 1 milligram this whole off season, and it's the best shape I've ever stayed in. There's a lot of other things in play, but I'm with you. I think, and you know what? I've said this about some of the other peptides. I think that there are benefits to be had during a diet or a contest prep, even at lower doses than what you're looking for when you're in the off season. Like if you're going to use MOTS in a diet, I think 500 micrograms or 1 milligram a day is you're going to notice it. You're going to feel it. Um, I take it in the off season and I don't feel anything. People ask me if I'm taking it for the energy benefits. I'm like, I'm full of energy. I'm eating fucking 7,000 calories a day. Like,
I'm good with it.
I'm not taking it for that. I'm taking crazy DMAA and high caffeine pre workouts. Like, trust me, guys, I don't feel the MOTS. I'm taking it for my blood sugar. Um, but I take quite a bit more in the off season for those benefits.
How many grams are you doing?
Dude, I just started this. All right, I'll talk about it a little bit. I had been doing 2 milligrams daily. And, there's a lot of other things going on. I've had retatrutide in the background all the time. For the first time ever, I've been super consistent with injectable L-carnitine before workouts, which I know kind of indirectly helps with insulin sensitivity. Um, training's flying, sleep schedule at least is very good. I eat a very, very low fat diet. Um, all these things add to it, right? Um, but I was on 2 milligrams daily, and blood sugar was awesome, even on high food, even on high GH. And then the last 3 or 4 days, I've done 3 milligrams in the morning, like before my little morning walk, and it's like the hypos are like borderline uncomfortable. Like my low, like it goes, I wear a CGM and you can follow the chart and kind of all day. It just kind of goes in this like up and down, very predictable wave. But the lows are so much lower and they happen so much faster just from going from two. It's not like I'm adding it in from nothing. I was already on 2 milligrams. Um, so going up to 3, I would relate it feels similar to the way like very high dose multiple shots of Lantus a day felt. Like I did 80 I use Atlantis at one point, split like 40 twice, and it feels very similar. Like I'll eat and within 20 minutes, the CGM that I'm wearing right now is like a prescription diabetic quality. And so the app fucking beeps and goes nuts on you if you go too low. And this thing, Kelsey is like, what is going on with you? Like this app is screaming at you all day. Every time you eat, within 15 minutes, the thing's going off. I'm 55, 52.
Damn. Does that make training feel flat, or your pump's still good?
No, training's kind of the one time that it doesn't really happen. And like training and then like the drive home from the gym, because the carbs it's an appropriate amount. Um, but the rest of the day, it's like annoying. It's been like kind of annoying. Like I'm not probably going to continue this. I may even like skip it entirely for a couple days.
Has sleep still been affected, or
You know what? So I have a very high, basically all the fats that I have for the whole day are in my final meal. And then I'm pinning the GH too before bed. So like yesterday, for example, it was every low was like, the app calls it critical low and it'll beep like, below 60 or whatever. Um, every one of the lows, like in between meals, was that low. And then I had that big final meal with the fats and the GH. And the only time it consistently stayed above that line was while I was asleep. And then I woke up to it beeping this morning and I was like 52. But it was like time, it was like when I get up.
Yeah, I got you. That's crazy.
So it's been crazy. It's just been super crazy. Like, for as objective as I've tried to been with data and like, it's there are all these other variables in play, but this is also the only one that I changed at that time. So that tells me pretty clearly that this change is because of that one variable. Like it's not like I changed a bunch of other shit all at once. So
Yeah, and when
yeah,
you drop it back, if you see a change back in the other direction, then
right.
that's more data.
Yeah, I might just skip it for a couple days and see if it shoots way back up as a baseline.
Just kind of see. Yeah, I'd be curious to see that. I wonder if during training, like the cortisol being higher and stuff too, kind of helps you
That
maintain.
your adrenaline being higher, yeah, for sure.
Which
Are you still taking Increlex pre and post though?
Yes.
Isn't that gonna? I would have thought that would crash it a little more.
So it does, but that's why I was taking pre and post Humalog, and I've had to reduce that both quite a bit to make up for it
Mhm.
because it's potent.
Gotcha.
It's very, very potent in that regard. Yeah, the pumps are crazy. Even the strength, like the performance is almost sometimes like bizarre feeling. Like I'll do, you know, as any example, I'll do 5 plates aside on something for 12. And then 1 week later I come back and I do like I would mock somebody or tell somebody that this was too much. But the following week I'll come back and do 6 plates aside for 18. And it's like I have to like double check my logbook. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? This is like so weird. Um, and the pumps are there to match it. Like it's like set one of any exercise that I do. It feels like the muscle could burst. But the most the most objective and potent difference that I see from it is with the blood sugar, and that's why I've had to reduce the insulin.
Makes sense. Sounds like you could just drop the insulin out, huh?
I still have a little post because the post meal is enormous.
Big Daddy. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's awesome.
It's been cool. It's been worth the spin. I'll tell you that at least so far. Um, all right, this guy that this could be interesting. This guy writes in, says not necessarily a question, but possible long form topic for the podcast. Peak week and show day logistics. What to pack, when to fly in, skin prep, including when to shave, tan, etc. Check-ins if coach isn't on site, what to do during your downtime, how to handle things out of your control, stress reducing tips, whatever else y'all believe is relevant. Give us some tips, Austin.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's so right. We could make a whole segment, right? So,
This probably could be a whole episode
oh, it could be a whole like repeating episode.
series. Yeah.
um, yeah. So, I mean, where do I start? He asked
What
about
to bring?
travel
What to
pack.
bring, when to fly in if you're traveling.
Yeah. So, like, I'll just share my competitor packing list that I send to people. How about that?
Yeah.
That starts somewhere, but man, this is a he went into so many things. But yeah, so I have male and female ones, but I'll just do the male one. So you gotta have your NBC card accessible, dark sheets, blankets for the bed, so you don't ruin the wherever you're staying. Sheets, posing trunks, your backup posing trunks, resistance bands, all your toiletries for hair removal and making yourself look pretty that day, uh, any kind of chargers, headphones for backstage, sandals or house shoes to keep your feet warm, for your tan, and all that. Dark loose clothing, and then you go into all your things, like all your tools with like shaker cups, supplements, food and pump up, uh, supplies, meal bags, coolers, um, meal containers. Bring an umbrella in case it rains on tan day, food scale, body weight scale, check-in spot set up with your backdrop and lighting. Um, and then I put on there to clear coat nail polish your nails for your tan, and bring dish soap to remove the tan
You're gonna
off.
take some heat for that, bro. People in the comments love that you paint your nails.
Yeah, what y'all?
But the clear coat's just so the tan doesn't get on the nails, right?
No, I know. I'm just busting his balls.
Yeah, but
No, I was that
they
was a
busted my
genuine question.
they busted my balls when I painted them black.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, that's
See,
great, dude. I
suit.
love that. I have something similar, like just pre-saved that I just send everybody.
Yeah, that's a start, right? And then
And I've still forgotten shit as a coach myself, dude.
yeah, and
This most recent show that I did in July, dude. We got there and I'm like, it's like a 5 hour drive out, and I'm like, okay, like anal all week. All right, I got the list, I got everything. We get all the way out there, and Compton's like, hey, as soon as you get there, send me pictures and send me your weight. I'm like, didn't bring my scale because I'm an asshole.
yeah, that's a common one for sure. Sometimes you might need to like pack a microwave or something to cook food on.
Yeah,
Hot plates for
like
hotels.
if you're in a hotel, you definitely would.
Need a hot plate, your rice cooker.
Rice cooker. Yep.
Let's
All
get some.
right, Josh, what else you got? When are you flying in? Like, Saturday show, you got to fly to the venue. Like, you're flying into a town to compete. You're flying into junior nationals. When did you fly
I'm
in?
never. I flew in on Wednesday morning. I will never fly to a fucking show again.
That
Um,
was a Saturday show.
Friday show.
So you
Okay.
like flying, and why is that?
One more time.
Why do you prefer to drive or fly?
I went hypo as I was getting off the plane and couldn't get to food for 3 hours.
What happened?
So that was just.
Well, I mean, you didn't necessarily have the best guidance.
I was gonna say I didn't know what the next meal was before I left, so that didn't help. Um,
Jesus fucking
I ate the
Christ.
first meal, got off the plane, and then immediately went hypo as the plane landed. Like literally, plane landed, boom, I'm full sweat. Um,
Ugh.
and then we were taxied on the tarmac for a while, and then we had to walk across the entire Atlanta airport to get to the guy who was picking us up. He was like 20 minutes late. By the time we then got to my mom's house in Atlanta, I was gone. I had lost like 8 pounds or some shit like that by that point. There was nothing left to me at that point. And then I was told to train after I ate, which made even less sense that day. But I would say that I flew in. I'm a very early riser, so I flew in. I think we got there. We probably landed around 9 o'clock. Um, so I'm gonna say if you're gonna fly in 2 days before the show, then make sure that you fly in the morning if you're a morning person, or if you're a night person, fly in the night before. So like I flew in on Wednesday, I would say fly in on Tuesday night. Um,
Like 2 nights before.
yeah, it just gives you time to settle the first day. Like I got to settle in the hotel Wednesday night, kind of relax. And then I think we did a podcast that day, actually. No, that was Universe. Got to relax, sit down, grab all the stuff I needed for Thursday so I could be fully off my feet Thursday. And just go get my tan. And then Friday we showed it.
Okay.
So
I'll say this.
that's
I haven't actually, I've not flown for a show. I've made this mistake several times driving. You think like, okay, maybe I'll save some money or whatever. Like I only need the hotel the night before, or whatever, the Airbnb. Driving somewhere that's like a couple hours away and thinking that you're going to leave on a Friday and it's just going to be smooth sailing is a fool's endeavor. I've done it and I've sat in traffic on a main highway on a Friday for 6 hours. And you got to piss, you got to eat, you got to check in, you're stressing out. It's never good. So even if you are close enough to drive to a show, I would recommend making that drive on a Thursday for a Saturday show. That way, like Josh said, even if it's Thursday night or Thursday evening, you have all day Friday to just be at a home base and chilled out. Because you don't want to be driving there Friday morning, let's say, and then you got a race to make check-ins, tanning, whatever else. I've done it. I've done it fucking so many times, and it's a mistake every time I've done it. Let me see. What were some of the other questions that he had asked about?
One was skin prep. Um, and I got for skin prep, I always say like 2 weeks out, every other shower, use like Dawn dish soap, and I think it's called an African silk wrap, something
Here we
along
go.
those lines. It's
Here we
like
go.
a mesh kind of washcloth, but it exfoliates your skin really well.
Is this advice for maybe say 50% of the people that are going to watch this, or
No, this is advice for everyone. I got this from an Argentinian girl.
I still don't feel like maybe that's not super pertinent
Well, she
to,
looked white.
Hey, dead skin's dead skin. I'm getting that shit off, bro. Because then that's where your tan mucks up. Those
yeah.
Josh has a point here. Those little rag things that go over your hand, it feels like really light steel wool or something. It's pretty.
You feel like Mr. Sacco,
Yeah,
if anyone knows the wrestling reference.
your skin feels
Called
like
an African net sponge.
your skin feels like a baby's ass when you're done with it. Well,
Like the short of it is that you're exfoliating, yeah.
exfoliate for two
Yeah.
days, moisturize too.
Um, Josh, you're not Josh, sorry, Austin. We've talked about this separately before we added our boy here to the podcast. You had talked about doing some Dawn dish soap
Yep. So that's like immediately. I do that pre-tan because I
right
want
before, yeah, yeah.
out of skin. So I don't necessarily. The thing with dish soap, it's like an anti-surfactant, so it's gonna dry you the fuck out. If I started doing that 2 weeks out, honestly, I would probably my body would crack open because I don't produce much skin oil. So like I'm using like an exfoliating just body wash of some form and using I advise people to start using a wash rag or a loofah or something.
Rotan makes a really good one. It's like a green bottle that I use,
Yeah.
and I start using that about 10 days out.
Yeah, you
It
can
smells really nice too.
It
you can
does
use
smell good.
yeah, anything with like some graininess to it that's like
Yes, it feels sandy.
candy. Yeah, it was the sugar, washes and things like that you can buy. All that works well, and then moisturizing your skin after you do that as well is really important. So the idea is you're just getting rid of old skin and keeping skin nice and fresh. And then the dish soap thing for me is 2 days out. So 2 days out, I will do. Nope, 1 day out before you tan with the dish soap, and then I'll take like baking soda and dish soap is what I use, and make it into a paste and go to town on myself with that. And then I'll just do another
Go to
coat.
town on yourself. Goodness gracious, bro. Let's try to keep this PG, shall we?
You know what I mean?
PG.
Yeah,
Good
go nuts.
Lord.
Go nuts. Yep. And then more dish soap one more time. And then the idea is, no moisturizer after that. And it usually
Yeah,
takes my tan really well. So that's that's
that
something.
sounds good. That should be some good takeaways there. I can't add much. I'm very lucky. I tan the whole time. I take melanotan the whole time,
It's a good point.
and I literally just take a regular shower. Started exfoliating with some type of specific gel, usually 10 days out. And other than that, I don't do anything, and I get compliments like I'm just lucky. I just have good skin.
I I think the value of adding the point of establishing a base tan and Milan tan works great is a
It's
is
huge.
a idea. So
There's no excuse because I naturally have very fair white skin that doesn't tan. I typically my skin just burns and gets red or pink and then goes back to white. I
so
use melanotan 12 or 16 weeks out. So I'm walking around as a different skin pigment the whole prep basically. And I tan basically as much as they allow me. Some spots in Florida will allow you to tan every day. Some spots it's every other day. But I am a big believer in doing that not only to set the baseline tan, but I think it helps atone for like wrinkles and blemishes in your skin. So that might be bro science, but I have seen it in real life. And then when to shave, I think this is a little different for everyone. It kind of depends on how hairy you are and how quickly and to what degree does it grow back for you. But for the masses or for the general public, like unless you're some crazy gorilla hairy like anomaly, I like a Wednesday shave for guys for a Saturday show because I would rather not have your skin irritated by doing it a little bit earlier. And also, as a little trick, credit where it's due, I heard Phil Viz talk about a podcast or an interview that he listened to where Dorian Yates talked about shaving Wednesday for a Saturday show and it being okay if it's a little early and that a little stubble grows back because it almost adds like a filter look to you. Like it adds a graininess to the look. And sure enough, I've done this and that does hold up.
I like that. I think that's a great approach for all those
Because
reasons.
if you nick something or you got a little bit of a spot, whatever, I would rather have an extra day or two for it to clear up than trying to shave Friday morning before you walk over to go do your tan. Like, I think that sounds like a nightmare. Let's do one more and then go. You know what? I promised this guy I would get to this, and I think it's a good one. Um, so he's talking about improving weak body parts, and he's basically looking for the tips and tricks. He says, let's assume training volume and intensity is dialed in, sleep is perfect, body part is programmed early in the session, you're fresh after a rest day, higher food is in place on those days. What tips and tricks can be implemented to bring up weak body parts? For example, orals or injectable orals, insulin, peptides, tips, tricks.
Ugh.
Austin, you want to go first?
It's really this one's hard for me. I think I would just be like I want to see how you're training is the big thing. I
No,
just
he covered. He doesn't. It's dialed. He said,
perfect. Okay, understood.
"Give him the real shit. Give him the Chad Nichols shit,
Yo, fucking inject it with anything. Inject it with anything pre-workout. You're gonna feel it more.
bro." I will tell you right now. I don't have any solidified orals like that I take on a daily basis or anything, and I am taking a crazy amount of orals the morning that I train arms. Like borderline insanity. I'm afraid to even say it out loud. And this is solely with the idea of like, this is going to create a enhanced localized effect to the body part that I am training today.
we'll wait and see what
So
happens.
if I end up, it's one of two things is going to happen. Either in a couple weeks, you're going to hear about me being in the hospital with liver failure, or at some point later this year, you're going to see me on stage with improved arms. So
Adam.
it's probably still not going to be cannons, brother, but they should be improved. They could be improved. Um, so, for example, I'm taking, and it honestly makes no sense. I am literally just throwing all of the shit at the wall. But I am taking, I'm taking 100 milligrams of Anadrol,
Yeah.
100 milligrams of Anavar, and 100 milligrams of Winstrol with my meal one on arm day. Yeah, I feel like I have big arms in the gym. I feel like a gorilla. So I do that with meal one. I typically train after meal two. So orals first thing in the morning. Um, pre-workout, immediately pre-workout, like in my car in the parking lot, like a drug addict. I do rapid acting insulin. I do Increlex. I do a big shake of fast acting like sugary carbs. Then while training, I have another intra shake. Immediately post training, I'm putting the Increlex and the insulin IM into my biceps and triceps, and I have a huge protein and carb only meal, enormous meal. Um, I'm doing injectable L-carnitine into my arms pre workout before. I'm just putting everything that I can possibly find into every hole in my body.
I love
Take
it.
that.
Yo,
Take that for what it
yo.
means.
Boss.
Pause. Yeah.
No, I think injecting the body part is like great advice to be honest. Whether it's oils, I think rotating body parts and like utilizing weak ones for injections works. And you can even entertain the thought of something like a hyaluronic acid and doing that like daily in the body part is and depending on what it is that you're talking about. You know, yeah, I mean, the orals could have application here, but maybe it's just like my initial thought was just like do more drugs in general. So maybe not necessarily even orals, like
Fuck yeah.
just maybe just your androgen load in general needs to that can be the answer because um yeah, I mean
Easy. Take 3 grams and as much growth hormone as you can handle without getting carpal tunnel.
right, and then design the split appropriately, which you seem to have just perfected, and I don't think there's like progress is undeniable. I think if you do that honestly, and yeah, I mean it's rare that you see someone push like appropriate dosages and have good design programming and not improve a body part. So
I will tell you this. I'm certainly never going to have cannons like Josh referred to them as. However, to be as objective as I possibly could, I measured my arms cold on a rest day the day before my off-season cycle began. And then I measured them again on a rest day, same scenario, same amount of meals and water and everything, recently. And each arm was over an inch bigger.
fuck yeah. I
So
mean, injecting my triceps have put an inch in my arm. Period.
yeah,
So that's something I started in the last 6 months, and my arms are an inch bigger. So
yeah. It does make a difference. I've been injecting my biceps with shit, with the Increlex, with the insulin, which I never did anything in my biceps. And then this past prep, I started doing the SEO in my biceps. And I was like, okay, this is not nearly as sketchy as I thought it was. Let me continue this in any way that I possibly can moving forward. So I've done that. And whatever. Yeah,
past that,
it seems to be working. You can't get past it.
I do my short head of the biceps, but not the
Okay. So what do you mean? Like the peak, like the outside?
yeah, I just do like the brachioradial
Yes.
type
Oh,
the
okay.
short
Okay. Yeah,
head
yeah.
here,
Yeah.
the hammer curl part.
Okay. See, I'm doing
I'm
my
still a
peak. I'm
big
doing like
believer.
the outer head. Like I'm going so if you put your arm out in front of you, right? Like
Yeah.
in an anatomical position, you know how everyone has that one big vein that runs along kind of like the outer head of your bicep? I
Right.
put it just inside of that, not inside the vein, but just
Ah,
to the
that
middle of that.
that feels a lot less sensitive than the end side part.
It's way less sketchy, dude. The key is, and I didn't even know this or think about it because, in prep you're just constantly flat. So it's like, you don't have tons of vascularity to even see what's going on. So I was just jabbing myself recklessly as fuck. Now I'm like, pretty pumped all the time, pretty veiny all the time. And so I will just take like a good look at where the veins are and kind of pick out my spot ahead of time and say, okay, this is where I'm putting this.
Fuck that.
Well,
Fuck
you
that.
have great arms, so I would never tell you to do that.
I don't think I have great arms. I think my triceps suck. I think I have great
Your
biceps. I
biceps
think
are
they peak
awesome.
well.
Yes.
I just don't have great triceps, which
Yeah,
is two
inject.
thirds of the arm.
Let me ask you guys,
And
have
I
you ever
do.
done
That
any of
helps.
these? Have you guys ever done any of these like pre-workout pump peptides, like injectable type peptides or blends or whatever?
Citrulline and all that. No,
Yeah, yeah. Monster blend or whatever the fuck they're called.
no, but I know they were hot for a long time. I just never got on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have a
Okay.
buddy that like was really into me, really
I
enjoyed
know
it.
people that swear by it. That's kind of why I asked you.
I just
Josh,
wonder.
anything?
I have them. I do. All right. Here's how my story with this goes is I didn't know that it was supposed to be intramuscular in the muscle you were training. So I was just shooting the shit in my quad on a like upper body day. So I didn't get
You
anything
are
from
like
it.
the group's little brother, dude. Like you say shit sometimes, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I honestly, because I sat there and I said, all right, everything in
Yeah,
here is an
bro.
amino acid, right? If it's gonna go into the body, it's gonna go systemic. It's gonna take 20 to 30 minutes to go systemic anyway. So I figured just get it in. Also, the shit was like oil, and I was training arms, and I'm not putting anything in my fucking arms. I'm sorry, that is the one. I will not shoot some in my bicep. In my
Have you
tricep, yes, only the outer head.
have you been putting your GH in your quads?
Yeah,
They look noticeably better to me, like the
I,
sweep of your quads.
I told you. I told you the G8, the IMGH works.
I finally bit the bullet and started using quads. I had to.
For what, your gear?
Yeah, I can't reach a lot of places.
And bro, how's it been?
It's fine.
Easy. Easy peasy, like you would say, dude. It's like one of my go-to spots.
Yeah, I've had a couple pissy ones, but nothing,
Have you?
nothing outside of the normal. Just a little
Bro,
bit.
I had a guy send me a message. It's so funny because this has happened to me like maybe 4 times ever, but it's like traumatizing every time it happens. I had a guy send me a message. He's like, bro, I did a shot the other day and like pulled it out and a stream of blood shot all over my wall. Like, you think I'm going to be all right? I was like, you're going to make it, brother. You're going to be okay. But it is wild because it looks like a murder scene happened. Bro, it happened one time when I was like not supposed to be doing gear in my parents' house. And I'm like, fuck, there's a big fucking splatter. Like, I just
Oh,
stabbed somebody in the neck. And I'm like, how the fuck am I going to, what am I even going to say?
did you clean for like 30 minutes
Bro, I
straight?
scrubbed everything and it looked like it just pushed it further into the walls. Like, it just spread it and made it look like more purple instead of red.
Fuck.
And I didn't say anything. And I like, I think I went back to school. Like, it was like a Sunday and I just went back to school for the week. And then during the week, my mom sends me a picture of it. And she's like, what the fuck is this? And I was like, honestly, I did a bad shot and the fucking blood shot everywhere. I'm sorry. You
Great
guys
story.
know me, fucking blunt as hell.
I think if you hit like a pissy like kind of scar
It's
tissue
like
area, it's already
that, or you might have nicked a nerve. Like, it's not like you went injecting into the nerve, but you might have hit it on the way in or on the way out.
happens a
Um,
lot. They're
it
very bad.
happens, man. That's the cost of doing business. Um,
That's
all right, guys.
showbiz, baby.
That's showbiz. That's the cost to be the boss. All right, guys. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna see if I can get these fucking timestamps up so Tommy John doesn't have to do it.
Gotta figure that one out.
Yeah. Anything else before we go? No.
Nothing.
Okay. All right.
Oh, the beanies are on the Shopify store.
Okay. I'll put
So
the story in the
easiest way
link
to
as
get them.
well. Are
Appreciate it.
you wearing that?
No, this is a look fucking heavy beanie.
Okay. All right. All right, guys. For Austin Brown, for Josh Jefferson and Pivot Jim, I am Joseph Percher. This was the One More Rep podcast. And until next time, we are out.